Chance Kyler Comanche, born April 14, 1996. It's well documented the insane things humans do for love and how much intimate relationships can control lives. But this case still has to be the most confusing, seeing everything Chance Comanche gave up for the person he loved and thought loved him. Things, unfortunately for Chance, shouldn't and isn't so easily explained away in society as simply love got the best of me and I made a mistake. A person lost their life behind the alleged poor judgment and disturbing acts of former NBA G League player for the Sacramento Kings affiliate team, the Stockton Kings, and his ex-girlfriend Sakari Harnden that left many wondering why would a person in Comanche's position commit such a heinous and career-ending act. Reports of the crime went as far as to show Comanche's text messages planning to take the life of Morena Rogers, including damning evidence of the murder plot, with what appears to be Comanche in communication with Harnden, planning the event in detail of how he was to allegedly carry it out, even using emojis like a regular everyday conversation. While still an ongoing case, it can certainly be concluded that Chance Comanche's NBA chances are a thing of the past, admitting to his role in the death of Rogers, even comparing it to how killers do it in the movies. After his arrest following a team practice, the Kings cut ties with the 6'10 hopeful as he's held locked up until an early February 2024 court appearance to determine his future. For many, this may be the first time hearing about Chance Comanche, but some remember him being a top 50 prospect and top 10 center in the country from the 2015 high school class. He was heavily recruited as expected at his height and success on the court that led to his high ranking and eventual commitment to the Arizona Wildcats basketball program. He'd shockingly decide to leave Arizona prematurely in 2017 to enter that year's draft and went undrafted. He took his chances and missed, playing most his professional career in the G League and overseas, with one NBA game under his belt for the Portland Trail Blazers in 2023. He was one of those players right on the cusp of getting a real shot in the NBA should he continue to develop skills to fit his 6'10 frame and where the game was headed. A wise poet once wrote the lines, "I should have seen you as trouble right from the start," and "I'm a sucker for love," that come to mind when reviewing the Chance Comanche story, but more importantly, the psyche of an individual with so much to lose, seeing the balance between that and committing the life-taking act he's alleged to have committed. For that and these reasons, his growth was stunted. What happened? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth. Let's get it. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Chance Comanche was a 6'10 power forward center from Los Angeles, California, beginning his high school basketball career for View Park Prep High School and then transferring to Beverly Hills High School to finish out his senior season. By then, he had grew to be a top 50 recruit with obvious advantages on the court being his size, but also obvious he'd need extra development as his game against similar competition proved to still be raw and in need of extra time. Considering it was the biggest knock on his game, he would commit, then play 2 seasons in college, leaving after starting just twice in his 2-year career, averaging 6 points a game his sophomore year, up from the 1 point he averaged as a freshman. It wasn't quite the shock he went undrafted, but for him not even to receive an invite to Summer League was. Stunt number 1, leaving Arizona too soon. Development seems to be the main issue with Chance Comanche on and off the court. Him leaving school too soon would change the course of his life and can literally be the sole reason he met the person he did and carried out the acts he's accused of. On the court, Chance was not ready for the NBA either, even though I understand his ultimate reasoning for wanting to leave when he did. After 2 seasons coming off the bench for the most part, Chance Comanche wasn't seen as a pillar for the program in his time there, nor for the future. The Wildcats enjoyed a successful 2016-17 season behind a total of 6 future NBA players including Comanche, but mainly highly touted Lauri Markkanen and Alonzo Trier. They made it to the regional semifinals before being upset by Xavier and plan to reload big next season with projected top pick DeAndre Ayton committing for the 2017-18 season. For Comanche, this meant a junior year playing possibly less minutes than he would have liked, with he and Ayton sharing the same position and DeAndre being a much better overall player. He decided it was best for him to enter the draft, even after knowing he'd likely go undrafted and have to start his career in the G League or overseas. It was a long shot he'd make the NBA, and his skills to that point weren't of NBA caliber as well. In 18 minutes per game as a sophomore, he averaged just 6 points and a little over 3 rebounds. For a player his size, you're expected to at least defend at a high level if attempting the jump so soon, and Chance was below average from there as well at 0.4 blocks per game for his 2-year career. Sometimes as a prospect you have to play the long game, and you have to be honest with yourself. That includes everyone around you honest as well. Chance could have played the long game and learned from DeAndre Ayton for the 1 year he would be there, come back as a senior and be ready to perform with Ayton off to the NBA and extra years of development for himself, leading to a better chance at being drafted or even a first-round pick. At least he would have received his degree, be more prepared for society mentally, and not become affiliated with the Sacramento Kings G League team, which is where he met his accomplice. Leaving school was an immediate mistake that led to more tragic mistakes because he was yet prepared for life. Stunt number 2, maxed out player. Chance Comanche is one of those players just good enough to be considered but not good enough to really get the opportunity. Like a Hollywood actor that can keep a role and average career but never receive that one leading role that sets him up for life. Comanche was 6'10", which in the NBA is good size for a power forward center, but not a dominant one that he could use as an advantage. At that size, you have to have developed skills and athleticism mixed with a couple go-to moves you know can work on the best defenders. Not to mention your basketball IQ has to be developed, and at a high enough level you can outsmart defenders and also be an important piece on defense as well. Chance, after not being invited to Summer League, signed with the Memphis Grizzlies G League team and averaged around 9 points and 5 rebounds his first year before playing in the Basketball League, Turkey, back to the G League, 1 game with the Blazers, and back to the Stockton Kings October 2023. In that time, he was average to below average offensively and as a defender, looking like the skill set he had was likely maxed out at the age of 27 when he last played. Being a maxed out player means a long journey of waiting for the right opportunity, one that never came for Chance. He was still a very raw back to the basket player and didn't step out and shoot threes often, so didn't present himself as a good future investment. Stunt number 3, arrested and confession. After Morena Rogers went missing, Sakari Harnden and Chance Comanche were arrested in connection to the crime. Comanche on December 15th after his G League team practice. He was extradited to Las Vegas where the death of Morena took place. While arrested, Comanche confessed to taking her life with the help of his on and off girlfriend Sakari Harnden. According to reports, Harnden and Rogers were both prostitutes and acquaintances who had an argument over a stolen Rolex watch, compounded by Morena Rogers telling people in both their circles that Harnden cooperated with police against her then boyfriend, who was arrested in 2023 for his involvement in a double homicide earlier in the year. This led to Sakari planning to take Rogers' life and seeking the help of her 6'10" friend Chance Comanche. The two attempted to contract the murder, but when they couldn't get someone to do it, they moved to planning on doing it themselves. They texted back and forth about their plans, detailing everything needed for Chance to likely spend the rest of his life in prison. Then there's his confession and his help leading authorities to Morena's body that unequivocally proves his involvement. As the report states, the pair lured Rogers in, posing as a potential client for kinky sex where Comanche would tie both up and engage with them. But when Rogers got in the car, Comanche began strangling her from the backseat with an HDMI cord while Sakari choked Rogers until she passed away. They then threw her body in a ditch and covered it with rocks. After his arrest and confession, the Kings cut all ties with him, and there's no way I see him ever getting that close to the NBA again. He's currently locked up, awaiting further decisions made on the rest of his life. After the confession, he may never see the light of day again. All in all, Chance Comanche had a shot. He completely mismanaged that opportunity, allowing himself to either be led by what he thought was love and encouraged to commit the ultimate act for it, or he was that stupid to think anything he allegedly did was worth throwing away his career and life as a free man. He hasn't been found guilty yet, and this story is all according to reports and opinion, but due to his confession and evidence of alleged involvement, we know it's pretty much over. Rest in peace, Morena Rogers. For these reasons, Chance Comanche's growth was stunted. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. I'm out.